Hello, hey. Hopefully I'll be able to record upside right because I don't know how to change it to flip it around. Um, Rubly said, "Dad, you know the video's upside down." And I said, "Yeah, didn't you see somebody comment it?" And I was like, I don't know. We couldn't figure it out, but um, I just said, should try to post something up here pretty soon to just let people know where we're at and what we're doing. I know it's not that important, but anyways, I am making some progress. Rubly, she's been going through all the stuff over here, and Ashley, she did finish all these over here. Ashley, I put a new piece up here so she could put those racks up. I mean, those trays up on the rack. So we were able to move some off here. Of course, as you can see, there's still more. But right now I'm trying to go through a lot of the arches. I found a couple more bins of a bunch of the arches in there. So that's the main focus. Did get some things in from eBay. I actually ordered some, what was it called? There's a Slave one of the earlier ones, but I have to go through it, make sure all the stuff is good. You know, yeah, literally have to take a magnifying glass and go through everything, see if there's cracks, because nowadays people will send you stuff and you just never know. But you know, it's something else. Rubly, she's been selling. She has a whole bunch of duplicates of these. We call them Disney pins. They are pretty cool. I remember, Ashley, when we would go to all the Disney worlds, Disney resorts, or wherever it was, she would always get these pins. And, you know, I don't know why, but it seems like it was always like one or two, three. Or they'd get the duplicates because we went back the next day and she would get another one or two. So, and we had a lot of fun with it. And she did the pin trading with a lot of people, but she always kept a storage of them over the years. And when she would go to like the Shanghai Disney or the Hong Kong or the Tokyo or Florida or California, you get a lot of different variations. And so she's been able to keep a lot of the originals that she has, and then she's been selling off all of her others, which has been a huge thing for her volleyball. She's been doing a lot of volleyball donations, and she's been using a lot of her money that she's been selling stuff like that on to get it. And I commend her. I mean, that's a lot of work, and you know, it is good. It's summertime, so she has a lot more time to do that. And that's about all. But for me, I had to go through all those boxes in there, trying to find something we still can't find. So I do have a bunch more boxes back here in the back area and back in there. Literally trying to figure it out. Maybe we have something back in there that we can't find. Not to mention it now, but what else? I think a lot of people with the Bricklink, Brick Fest up in Chicago, it's been going on this weekend. Major Lego show. Actually, I went to once, and many years ago, only because I was there and I didn't even know it. I mean, I didn't know it was going to be going on or nothing. I heard about it and my friend wanted to go and we went, and I regret it that I don't know if it was like the first year or second year it was ever there, but obviously it was before COVID, so sad but true. Same thing with I used to live in California sometimes, and it was the same case. So, Rubely, are you up? Yep. That's Ruby. She's up. It's like 2 in the morning. She has volleyball in the morning. So volleyball practice. But sad thing is they spend more time training than practice. But it makes practice a lot easier when you're in condition, which I totally understand, but I know it's awfully tough. I'm glad I'm not doing it. A lot of those pieces in here, the rounds, those we call them the 1x1s, rounds. I can't think of. Yeah, a lot of different colors. Those are all the tiles in there. So, anyways, I can't think of much more to say except she just turned the air conditioning on, so she must be getting hot. So I can feel it now, but I'll focus it so she'll have more towards her. So it blows out a vent up here. I'll force it back in her way. Got some sanctoriums there that I'm thinking about selling. Got the NASA Discovery. I have some Saturn V rockets I actually listed. So hopefully get some things going on here pretty soon. I don't plan on opening up the store probably until after I come back from Barcelona. Yes, I have to go to Barcelona. Maybe I won't. I might not have to. I won't know until probably later on this week. But Ruby definitely is going. She's so excited. I think everyone there is excited that she's going too. So it's kind of nice for her to get back there. She hasn't seen them for over a year. So I'm glad she's going. Spend some good quality time with them. They'll have a lot of fun, and with her family from over there, her mom as well. And I have Legos over there that we're trying to get over here, but it's not an easy thing. I don't know if anyone heard or knows all about that air accident in India. Tragic loss of lives. I really feel for not only there's a solo survivor, but the families, the friends, the people who had people on that plane. It's devastation. I mean, I used to fly a lot, and we're talking 100,000 plus miles a year, and every time you're on the plane, sometimes it gets in your mind of like, if something happened, it's not bad for you, it's bad for the other people that survive and have to deal with the outcome of losing you. And whether it's for financial or stability or someone to talk to, it's an awkward thing for a lot of people. So again, something we'll hopefully find out what was causing that problem. A lot of people think it might be tainted gas. Wrong gas was put in. Jet fuel might have been contaminated or something. But these are all speculations. They'll find out, I'm sure. They'll find that out for sure, that it's not the fuel. What else? We don't have a TV, so we don't really know a lot of stuff going on in the news, just what we hear on the internet through like YouTube and stuff like that. But Brick Fair to Chicago, really kind of curious how that turned out. Hopefully maybe I can go next year. I think Ruby and I, we were talking, she was trying to figure out which ones she would like to go to, but we really don't know. We've never been to one that we actually operated at, so maybe just going as a spectator would be probably the smartest thing first. But at the same time, you know, we have a totally different agenda now. Awesome. Speaking of awesome, you know that everyone's awesome set is supposedly to retire this year. I don't know if they have something coming up to fill that spot in, because it's probably one of the best sets I've seen for many years. It's classic. It's beautiful over the years, which is nice and hard to say for a lot of sets that hold that kind of quality of a set that you can see and look at and just still be like, that's really cool. The Saturn V rockets, that the NASA Discovery Shuttle, to me that's the same thing. There's a lot of sets out there, but look, I'm a huge Ninjago fan. I really like Ninjago, but boy, after seeing certain sets for a few months, I'm like, okay, next. So just the way it is for me, at least. For some people maybe not, but Harry Potter's another one. Man, I don't want to see the same Harry Potter set after maybe 6 months. And I think price wise it's reasonable. I mean, holy cow, you spend $100 for a Lego set, and you spend maybe like 6 hours putting it together. The fun of 6 hours of entertainment, okay, is amazing. You have a set that you can build onto, you can modify, you can change, and maybe even put it up and, you know, use it later on for your parts, or sell it off as a used set, you know, get a little money back to maybe buy another set. It's cheap. I mean, I went to I'm just a local dirt track, you know, to go right to the races, whether it's sprint cars, USAC, World of Outlaws, you call. The last one I went to was like $45. It was one freaking night. It's amazing entertainment. It is it's worth it, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't have anything tomorrow except looking at my photos. So to me, Lego, yeah, I get kind of when I hear people talking about how expensive it is, because you're just not looking at the true value of it. The minifigs, I mean, same thing. You know, I understand if you're doing a Lego collection of a set and you're having to pay $50 or, you know, for a minifig, but goodness gracious, if someone has to sit there like I and hold on to these sets for years and years and years, occupying, you know, my space to be able to provide that service, it's really not that bad. I kind of would be the same way of like, I'll pay you to store all my stuff, you know, and let me do it. But you know, someone said, yeah, why don't you? I do. I buy stuff from other people on Bricklink, Brickowl, eBay, because I want what they have, and they've had it stored, and you know, they, you know, give me a price that's fair for the market of what to me is very reasonable. It works out. It's nice. And I'm glad there's people that are doing it, because my gosh, I think it's a big misconception thinking about, you know, what do you do when some of these sets, you know, I mean, Lego can't keep them around forever, but yet how nice it is when some of these people still have them. So, but especially with the parts, But deep down inside, I always figured out, Lego could, can't they? Really? Can't they have every part in all the variations of colors? I mean, is it that hard? I mean, I wouldn't think it's that hard. I mean, I mean, let's say you had, 8 football fields storage. I mean, honestly, they could afford the land. They could afford the facility, the operations. Yeah, they could if they wanted to. I think it's just part of the thing. They don't want to be in that business. And probably okay. Because in all reality, if they did that, they could put every Bricklink seller out of business. Really. If you really deep down think about it, they could do that, put every Bricklink seller out of business, all third-party resellers, and simply they can go back in with whatever molds they have and print everything that's out there possible. All the windshields that are discontinued, they could print a whole bunch of them. The Slave ones, the UCS, they should have all the molds probably, and they could probably knock out a bunch of them, an extra 100,000 units if they wanted to. What would be the end result? Now you say all Bricklink sellers would be out, all resellers like eBay and all that stuff, they're out, Facebook and all that kind of stuff. The mock builders would be able to get their products from Lego. Obviously, it would definitely increase the price because, yeah, I've heard there are some items that are more expensive on Bricklink than Lego, but I think that's mainly because people weren't able to update their pricing because at that time maybe that part wasn't available in a variety of sets, and that's why the price was set there. But long term, I think anybody would lower their price to be equal to what Lego was, but obviously normally cheaper. So it would only affect really the mock builders of getting their parts, because how many people buy a Lego set thinking about reselling it? Not many. Most people that buy Lego sets are there to build it, have fun, enjoy it, okay? Now, the people who are buying multiples, yeah, that's people like me. I mean, that's what we do. But that's for the reason of having the parts for a resale. So Lego would then indirectly affect their sales by how many resellers are actually buying their sets. I mean, we don't know. We don't know, but how many Bricklinkers are there in the US alone? And you can pretty much look at it and say there's a lot of sets that you guarantee you every one of them has at least maybe one or two. And if you're looking at that with like Speed Champions or Brickheads or whatever, I mean, you're talking 2 to 3 times more revenue than they really could or should be making. But you just don't know. But I think they see that huge growth over these years, and I think they know or they don't know that it's because of Bricklink sellers. I don't know. It's a hard thing to understand because they don't have that data. I don't care what you want to say or think. They don't have it. I don't buy my sets where they know what sets I have. Okay. I don't do the QR code and upload everything I have to get 10 points. Okay. I'd be sitting here for the next 5 years uploading those codes just to get a $500 discount. And all they get is all the information that would cost normally marketing companies hundreds of thousands of dollars to find. So I'm not doing it for them, and they would love that, and then they would know. But that's the reasons why you don't put up that information. But I mean, look at this. Just think of minifigs. Do you know how many people, I mean, some of these are the newer ones, but from like 2025, what was it, like Dungeons and Dragons, okay? Here, look here, I have CMS from the Muppets, Looney Tunes, Mario, CMS from Series 21, some of 19, Series 24, CMS of Disney, Video, Marvel, DC, Hello Kitty. Yeah, I mean, if I have a couple of thousand packs that I've bought, and I know a lot of other people bought them too, the normal person going out there that maybe wants that set, 12 of them, they're out there. But I guarantee a lot of people just buy one or two. Maybe that's all they're really doing. You know, I ran into a couple in a store looking at Legos, and that's all the guy was doing, was he just wanted to buy something so he could work out, you know, during his break at work the next day. And I was interested. I mean, I'm talking to him, but he was buying, I don't know, like when he's like $10 sets. And he's just like, I kind of like it when, you know, I take my break, I'm in my office, I just, you know, put something together. You know, it's just something to do. I was like, really? And yeah, that's all, you know, like a little Speed Champion, you know, like those sets up there, you know. I mean, you could put one of those together in probably about half an hour if you wanted to. I don't know, truthfully, but maybe without stickers. Yeah. But if, yeah, you did that, and I mean, my gosh, they have like 20 of them, different types. You could do, yeah, one a week. You know, it'd be a lot of fun. Something to do, right? But the vast majority, no, they're just like kids, you know, grandparents or parents, you know, they're kind of, kids are like, "Arr!" and they're screaming, and they're like, here, you know, I'll let you get one toy, you know, keep it under $5, $10, and they'll pick something up, right? And, you know, they usually will shut up afterwards, and, you know, that's it. So, I used to do that for a lot of things. I used to buy stuff for my daughter if she would do certain work, like maybe write Gettysburg Address, okay, or name me the first 10 elements in the periodical table, right? Give me all the noble gases, stuff like that. And she kind of would learn these things, and I would buy her like what were they called, hashables, right? And that's what I would do, and I enjoyed it because, you know, she would open them up, she loved them, it was wonderful, and I got her to do something very productive and stuff. You know, sad note to all that was, because of that, my I'll say ex-wife, she thought I was grooming my child, and it's kind of a sick thing to be thinking about, but it does bring back these memories now that I didn't want to think about. But yeah, that's all I was doing, and I, during conversations, this is all I can remember. Our conversations were later on after I was like, how'd you even come up with these ideas? And she said she had done a search about, like a father buying a bunch of little toys for his little kid or girl or something like that. And something came up about a groomer, which to me, I was like, you're sick in the head. You're as sick as a groomer, to even think that kind of stuff. And even though I remember she kind of claimed on a video, she said something, I was like, your mind's playing tricks on you or something. But let's not go down that rabbit hole. But anyways, I think, Ashley, even for like Lego, if you could do the same thing with kids, and like maybe if they're in the cars, or there's some awesome sets like the ukulele, and they're cheap, $10, $15. If you can get your child to maybe learn a math equation, maybe watch a video on quantum physics, do a report on the Raptor engines. I think they're up to Raptor 3s now in SpaceX. They can do this stuff, or they can at least get it where they're able to watch it, understand it somewhat, and then they can build a little Lego set, which they can keep forever, right? So it's probably a heck of a lot better than a hatchable. So even though we still have them, but definitely not the ideal situation. Yeah, could you imagine if I was buying up all the minifigs back then? I mean, geez, 17 years ago. Gosh, she would have a mess of them now. Darn it, I really did mess up. So I guess I'm not a very good dad. Alrighty. Well, hey, wish you all the best out there. And again, thank you for anybody out there helping me with my Lego journey. It means the world to Rubley and me both. This has been a unique struggle. I won't go into a lot of things, but I went from being homeless to living in my car to being here now, and being here maybe not the best thing, being in, but at least I'm in an apartment, and my daughter's in a great school, and she is everything anybody would dream to have, as for a daughter. It's quite impressive what they can do, and they put their mind to it. But also these teachers, they're amazing what some of them have to put up with, but at the same time what they contribute and do. She has this her coach for volleyball, which she finally made the team, is one of the math teachers. If you don't think you have enough going on as a teacher for high school, and being able to then coach a group of kids in volleyball, I mean, hands down, I'm impressed. That's all I can say. I am so glad that she's also got some good people behind her to help her. There are a lot of people out there, the parents and others, trying to help with the fundraising to help make that a little bit easier too, because that all takes a lot of money. Hopefully the seniors can do a great job going off to state this year and being able to enjoy that without the stress that comes along with it. So it's just awesome all around what everybody's doing. And least but not forgotten, our church, we have a church we're kind of new to, and we've been going to the 3 C's. It's what I call it. And it's here in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And I'm just like really impressed with it. but I'm new and I'm not going to go head over heels into it. Just slowly, step into it and get to understand it and learn a little bit more what their philosophies are, thinkings, and hopefully learn from that and be a part of it. But at the same time, I know sometimes rushing into these things, it's more counterproductive than productive. So that's all. All right. Thank you all. Wish you all the best. If I was you and you're listening to this and you're still here, kudos. But I tell you, I listen to a lot of people's videos. It's nice just to sit there and be doing something and being able to listen to them. And I enjoy that. I know it's kind of hard for them sometimes, like, keep talking. And sometimes people will be picking orders and talk. That's probably a lot harder than you can imagine. And then others don't talk while they pick orders, which I'm definitely not into that. I don't understand, but that's not the first thing or first time I probably wouldn't have understood something. Did a fundraiser. My daughter convinced me, actually, she convinced me to do a flea market thing. We kept on driving by her school, and she was playing volleyball one night, and it was saying they had a flea market up there, which I've seen. She was doing a food drive one time, and just on the other side of her school when they were doing this flea market, and they do it every Saturday. But she spent all night making this sign, and we went and bought some stuff like the folding table, chair cover, and all that stuff. And she actually sold I think it was like $300 and some worth of stuff for her volleyball team. And I was kind of cool. I was like sitting back watching her just talk with the people, and then it didn't matter because there's a lot of Hispanic people, and she's Hispanic, so she was able to sit there and communicate, and most of them were kind of confused. But I'm telling you, hands down, I'm telling you the truth. So she had a bunch of hats that she was selling, okay? And whatever, she could get out of the hats, she would, make that as her donation. Somebody bought one of the hats, and literally he said, well, I don't have the money. I'll come back later, right? And sure enough, we decided we're leaving around 11 o'clock because I had to go to the post office. And as we're packing up everything, here comes that guy, Hispanic guy. And he's talking to her in Spanish, and she's like, Dad, did you put them hats up? And I said, yeah. So I gave her the bag of hats, and she's going through it, and the guy's like, yeah, that's the one I want, and they're just going back and forth in Spanish. And then she's like, hey, Dad, you have a what do you call them, markers, the Sharpies. And I handed it to her, and he says, would you sign it? I understand enough Spanish, and I was like, what the hell? And so I see her, she's signing the hat with her name. And I'm like, is this guy doing this because he thinks she's like a player or something? I couldn't understand it, and I wasn't getting involved. I just was like doing my thing. And once we got into the truck, and I'm just like, did you just sign somebody's hat? She's like, yeah, he wanted me to sign his hat. And I was like, was it just your name or like a phone number or what? She's like, no, just my name. So anyways, crazy things out there, but she got $20 out of it.